Hello, and thanks for joining the session. Today we're going to be looking at probably the last episode of adding OAuth to Astrocasts. So far, we've managed to finish writing app-level and user-level OAuth connections for Twitch, app-level and user-level OAuth application, attaching app-level and user-level OAuth to YouTube. We also created the model for per user and app level, and we also did some stuff with the service layer. Originally, I'd wanted to do Facebook as well, but I think that's something I'm going to take offline. I need to still work on making sure that Facebook itself is up and running with the streams. I'm not convinced that that's happening nearly as nicely as it should be right now. Facebook also could end up being closer to Google in terms of complicatedness. So if that turns out to be more interesting, I might actually kick off something specifically for integrating with Facebook. But for right now, I'm going to focus on Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. So Discord is what we're going to be looking at today. Before we do that, I want to show that we did finish connecting with YouTube. There were a couple of things that were holding us back previously on the testing environment, and I fixed those up. So just so you can see it end to end, I can click connect. I'm going to choose Astrocast YouTube to be the connection. I can click allow, and now it's hooked up correctly. So we do have the ability to add Twitch and to YouTube. So we're going to add Discord as the next option. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what we need to do. So we're going to have a Discord client ID and client secret. I'm probably going to follow the pattern that I've done for the other applications so far. We are going to have to find a Discord client. So let me see what I can find on Packagist. Discord. Let's see. I think it might be this one, unless this is React. I don't know if I want to use this if it's on React. Let's see here. You need to know how PHP works. Yeah, so this is probably going to be the package that we'll use for the bot, but I don't think it's going to be the package we'll use for just doing our normal Discord API stuff to connect the accounts. Let's check out the Discord dev page, because it's possible we might do this a little differently. Let's see here. So I've already created an application for us. There we go. All right, so we have Astrocast local is the application. Here's the client ID. It's possible I just need to do the OAuth to URL generator. Select URL to redirect to. I'm actually going to go to the other project. OAuth to. Oh, looks like I didn't actually add that redirect URL, which is totally fine. So let's go ahead and add it now. So if we follow the pattern that we've been doing, it's been astrocast.test, YouTube, app, OAuth, app, redirect. Okay, so invalid code. So that's the right URL, it's just we're not doing it correctly. So I'm going to use that same pattern here. So I'm going to do for the local project, we're going to do Discord, and we're going to use user. All right, so hit enter. All your edits have been saved. All right, so now I can select a redirect URL. I think I'm going to do, let's see here, please select at least one OAuth scope. And I think for this one, we're going to want read messages. No, we don't need read messages. Let's do identify. All right, redirect URI. Let's read about the scopes just to make sure. So let's do scope OAuth. There we go. Bot. All right, me without email. Okay, so that's probably what I need. Local RPC server. I don't think I need to know about the guilds. So let's do that. So we'll just do identify. So that lets me do me. So I'm going to copy this URL. And let's see here. If we're going to do stuff based on URL, let's just copy it for now into here, Discord. And we're going to be working on user level. So we'll copy this URL. So the things that we're using are the client ID, generating a redirect URI, and scope. So let's go in here and let's create a new top-level namespace of Discord. And create user. And let's do Discord config. And let's copy our YouTube user config, because it's going to be very similar to that. Client ID, redirect. Actually, we might need all of that too. Maybe we won't. I think it might actually be more simple, because I don't think they're as picky about it being a public URL. So let's get rid of it for now. We can get rid of these. Get rid of these. And the scope we picked was identify. And then we can get rid of these two things. If we go into services.yaml, we are going to use these. So we have YouTube. There we go. These were actually incorrectly set up, so I need to remove these here. Now it should be fine. We'll do all right. Do some more search and replace. YouTube with Discord. Okay, there we go. User YouTube config. This was one we want. Copy. And we're going to do Discord now. There we go. All right, so now we have our configuration all set up. So this should be what we need to actually get the configuration up and going. Let's see here. All right, so we have Discord config up and running. Let's see what else we need. All right, so if we do that redirect, shared resources, authorize, token URL. So this is what I'm going to want to post to, I believe. So I'm going to try and do this without using a third-party API. That's something that we haven't really done yet. but it might make things a little bit easier for us. Exchange code. All right, access token response. So it's going to get us more or less what we wanted before. Refresh token. Bots. So I've looked at some of the bot stuff already. So authorize is the URL we start with, correct? Yeah. So then we need to pass a code here, and that will give us what we need. So let me double check here. /token. Okay. All right, so let's create our user level Discord API. Discord API. All right. So the bits of pieces that we're going to need for this, because we're trying to do this on the simple side of things, we're going to want our Discord config. And I think that's all we need for now. I'm going to create a new Guzzle instance when we need it to do the actual work. I'm going to look at the connections controller. I guess it's in settings controller. So what we have here are going to be the what we had before. So this is doing the redirect response to get authentication URL. So our job now is going to be to get our Twitch API to, or not our Twitch API, the Discord API to get an authentication URL. So this is what we're going to implement. And let's go ahead and get the things that we'll need to handle this. So we're going to need the URL generator. So we need the URL generator interface from Symfony so that we can generate the URL to our redirect, or where we're actually going to handle this stuff. So let's go ahead and pretend like this is implemented. Head back to the settings controller, and there are do Twitch connection redirection, and then do Twitch connection disconnect. And let's see. Yeah, so we have a connect and disconnect thing that we need to do. So let's do YouTube. And then some fancy search and replace, YouTube to Discord. Okay, we don't have a Discord API factory. I think we get away from that. I think we get to get away from that, and we can just use our actual Discord API, which is going to be one of the nice things that we have up here. So connect Discord, settings, connections, Discord, disconnect. Remove for Discord. Okay, so we're gonna have to go in here and do some Discord level stuff in our user OAuth credentials, but that's fine. Okay. Do Discord connection redirection. So we are going to get a Discord API, and we're gonna rename this from factory to API. Ooh. Ah, okay. That's fine. It's complaining because this name's already being used, which is okay. So we're going to do it this way. We don't have to get the client because we can just create the authorization URL. So let's do get authentication URL. So this probably should be renamed to get authorization URL, just so we can keep it in sync with what we have here, because this is, yeah, let's call it an authorization URL. So let's rename it here. and we'll call create, since it's not getting create authorization URL. I'm going to use that here now. All right, so this should work. Inside here, we need to check our, okay, so I did add a Discord type already. So we're going to want to do what we did for YouTube here. So find for YouTube, find or create for YouTube, and remove for YouTube. So we're going to do all of these, except we're going to do this for Discord. Replace all. All right, so this should work. Okay, so this should work now. If we go back to our settings controller, this controller should now work because we have remove for Discord. So this is going to be good. So we have this value here that we can use for our route name. So we're going to go into the template now and see if we can make the UI aware of this. Let's go template, settings, connections. We have Twitch, so let's copy the YouTube settings. I don't know if I have access to the Discord icon just yet. So we'll check that in a second. All right, so do we have build images Discord? We don't, so we need to add that. And the way we do that, I believe, let's see here. SVG. I don't remember how I added those. Let's see if it's in here. It is. So this is the way that I had done it previously. I don't think I want to do it this way. Let's see what happens. You know what? I take it back. I'm just going to do it this way because this is the easiest way to do it right now. Let's see if it actually exists first. Yep, so it's there. All right, so we're going to have to do a build, which will make it available. So if we go back here, it's going to look to see if Discord is in the auth credentials for the user. If it is, displays the disconnect button. Otherwise, it displays the connect button. And it has the path now that we've created in the settings controller. So that references settings, connections, Discord. All right, so let's see if we can render the local test version of this. Cool, so we have this stuff. If I click connect, this is going to redirect to a 404. I'm almost positive. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so create authorization URL must be a type string, none returned. Oh, okay, so we didn't actually get that far. Makes sense. So the problem here is, settings controller, is that we made it into this function. We got a redirect, but this is not returning a string. And we can't return that string until we have the URL generator able to create a URL to our actual redirect handler. So first of all, let's create our constructor with the bare minimum information that we need to run. And we're going to run into a problem right away because we don't have a path here. So we can do generate, generator, generate. What are we going to put there? This is something that we need some help with. So let's see where we did this elsewhere. I think for Twitch, we did this. So let's go to Twitch, user, I think it was here. Yeah, URL generator. So we can specify the name of the path. So we have Twitch OAuth user redirection. We don't have a Discord OAuth user redirection yet, so that's what we need to actually create. So here we have redirect user inside Twitch controller. So what we need in this case then is to create a Discord controller. So let's go into our controllers, create new controller. All right, so Discord controller, I'm going to extend abstract controller, which is going to give us a couple of handy things that we're not going to use a whole lot of it, but we will use some. Let's do that. Strange. So I'm seeing Kevin report something a little odd. It says that the Astrocasts site says it doesn't start until 4. Is it not running? Can you send me a screenshot of what you see, Kevin? Unless this is what's... No, this is showing the right thing. Yeah, if you can send me a screenshot of what you're talking about, that would be useful. It does say on air though, so maybe it's fine. Go to the live sessions page. Ah, okay. Yeah, this always looks like this. So this always looks like this. The idea is that you can click on this at any point and be brought to this page. If you're brought long before the session starts, it just shows you the blank, well, not the blank, but the Twitch waiting to stream page. So thanks for that, in case that was actually a mistake. If it's confusing, then maybe I should change it. But otherwise, I think it's working as it's working sort of as expected or as intended, although maybe it wasn't expected correctly. Yeah, well, there's that too. So Adam says it's kind of static. Kevin says it's 2 p.m. where I'm at. That was actually one of the first settings that I wanted to do. Oops, there's something broken somewhere. Yeah, the data is static. So that's what I was going to show, is that the settings, the very first one was to set the time zone, because I want users who are logged in to be able to see their time zone. I've tried to put the time zone everywhere, but it's not always showing up correctly down here, I guess. So definitely could use some work. Most of the other places where I have it, I thought it always said US Central, but I guess not. Yes, and time is hard. I agree with that. So I apparently have broken something here. It's the Discord API itself has an error now. Oh, yeah. I intentionally broke that. But thanks for reminding me, PHP. All right, so the settings page is causing some sort of delay. Let's get back to where we were. So connect Discord, enable to generate a URL to the named route, empty string, which makes sense. So let's go ahead and get back to our Discord controller. Let's look at the YouTube controller. YouTube controller. So we have redirect user. We'll copy this. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. So this is going to cause some issues because it's reusing the name. So we're going to switch this to Discord. Change this to Discord. We are going to need the request. We could probably be done with it at this point just to get it working, but I'm going to make sure that these are all here. Object manager, because we want to save the object at the end. YouTube, user YouTube API. So this is, let's actually not worry. Now we will. Do user Discord API. We'll call this Discord API, and then token storage interface. Route is missing, so let's get some of these imports. Route comes from here. All right, so inside now, we are going to probably not worry about this code just yet. Mostly because we sort of need to figure out how to do this part. So we're not going to get that far. But in the meantime, I guess it would make sense to switch these out, because that should work. Find or create for Discord. All right, there's an exception there. Okay. And then this redirects back to settings connections. Get user details. So this is something that we'll have to implement as well on our Discord API, which is fine. So let's try to get this first. So we need the access credentials. This is the part from the Discord API that does this. We need to pass it the token that we received, and then have it pass back the access credentials. So let's go into Discord API, URL generator. This is where we're going to generate to this route. And I don't think we need anything else there. Yeah, it doesn't have anything else that we need to pass. Why is YouTube controller complaining? Redirect user. Okay, so there was some copy and paste stuff happening. Redirect app, redirect user. All right, now it should be fixed. So if I do this now, it should actually send me through the flow. Okay, what went wrong here? Cannot determine controller argument for Discord API argument is type hinted. All right, so we have to go figure out this. This actually needs to be brought in. But we're going to call it user Discord API. And then we can bring in our app level API once we need that, if we need that. All right, get access credentials. Why? Oh, okay. Settings controller was create authorization URL. This authorization URL is not this. We need this, but that's not actually where we need to redirect to. We'll say redirect URL, but we actually need to create this URL. That's not very useful. There we go. Let's copy that. So we have access to it. So I can't remember if I can use the URL generator in this way, but let's try. Return URL generate. Now I think I can specify this prefix, and it just works. Let's just try it like that first, and let's see what happens. No. All right, so it's looking for a named route, so we can't use that. So, all right. Okay. So let's do this instead. Return response type code client ID %s and scope equals %s. I didn't want guild to join. Oh, and where does it get state? Oh, I wonder if state's my secret. All right, so before we dive into the semantics, we should stop. State is sent. Okay. I think I'm not going to do anything with this right now. So it's not required. I'll add it later. All right, so scope %20. I think that's a comma. No. Some of these are better than others, apparently. No, it is a space. Okay. And then redirect URI. All right, so let's see. We have so far client ID, scope, get scopes, and we'll implode that with spaces. And then redirect URI. Now the other thing that we need to do here is URL encode these. Including this. I'm sure there's probably a more PHP-centric way to do this. I don't know what it is right now. Let's see here. Unable to, oh, URL generate. So this is where we need to specify Discord. There we go, user redirection. Oops. There we go. Not a well-formed URL. So I need to, I need this to be an absolute URI. So we need a absolute URL. Okay, so Astrocasts local wants access to your username and avatar. Authorize. Cool. So this means that we got as far as exchanging the credentials. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. If we go to Discord controller, it's doing get access credentials. So we'll do that inside Discord API. Function. All right, so this is where we're going to do some fancy stuff with Guzzle, most likely. We need to use this information. This redirect URI is always going to be the same, so that's okay. Scope needs to know what those are. Data headers. Okay, so all right. Beryllium in chat says that earlier this year they wrote a quick cryptocurrency price posting bot and that the API was pretty easy to work with. Yeah, I've been pretty excited with what I've seen so far. It seems like they're a little more lax and more developer friendly. They might, their API might be, I don't know, more brittle or something. I don't know. But yeah, so far it's been working great. So this has Discord config. Let's copy this bit of code in. Would have been nice if this was JSON instead, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. So client post. All right, so post array options. Post. There we go. Oh, not multi-part though. That's not what I meant. Post form data. There we go. So now headers work. Body. There we go. Form params. All right, so post URL. Headers. No. There we go. Okay, form params. It's fine. How do I add headers? I'm just going to take a guess here, but I don't need them. If the only header is this, I'm guessing that form params will set that for me. could be wrong, but we'll see how it goes. So we have client ID. Client secret. Grant type. Code. Redirect URI. And then scope. And then the URL. So for now, I'm going to hard code the whole thing. Auth/token. And I want to say there was something that I could do with guzzle for JSON, but maybe not. All right, so we'll do get body does a stream interface. Get contents. There we go. There we go. So super basic. Let's see if this works. Discord controller. In theory, this could all work. So I'm not going to do DD access credentials. I'm going to print R it. I don't really know which values these will have. Let's see if we can just guess it for now. So access token, token type expires in. Token type, access refresh token expires in. We don't have the get user details, so yeah, I guess we'll just have to leave it like this for now. I'm guessing that means we aren't going to be able to get all the way through this function. Post resulted in a 400 bad request. Okay. Once again, I need to make this an absolute URL. And now I can't use it again because the token has expired. So let's try the flow again. Authorize. Okay, so we did get an access token. So that's awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. Next thing we need to do is get the user details. So let's do get user details. We need to be passed in a user and access token. So user and access token. And we're going to allow this to be null. So it looked like the request was to me, I think. Pleasant grant. Two scopes, here we go. Identity, or is it identify? So users /@me. So I should be able to do that. So code. There's a lot of optimization that can be done in this, but part of this is just getting it done. Is that what it was? Users/@me. Okay. And then we need to pass what other information? I think we need to pass the auth header. So Guzzle. Let's see here, request, auth. Headers. And then we'll do implode. No, that's not right. Okay, let's see what we get back from that. Actually, we expect user details to have this information in it. So remote ID, display name, and avatar. So the first time, let's get this information. Just display it. Resulted in method not allowed. So sometimes it's nice if you have the ability to use an API. Other times it can be easier just to do it this way. I'm almost enjoying this more than I was before. Data. Oop. Interesting. So the avatar is a weird string. What do we do with that avatar? The avatar data is a data URI scheme. Matches the image data provided. What? Okay, so we generate the URL based on the info. So let's do this. Avatar is this. Avatar. So we have user ID, user avatar. So avatars. And then it's user avatar.png. All right, maybe that'll work. Let's see here. So we'll try this flow one more time. Connect, authorize. Awesome. So it works, which is great. And it's really useful that the URL is, or the image is different that I have on Discord. So let's see here. It's possible this is not at all going to work as I intend forever. But let's see. So we have avatars, users, / image. Okay, cool. So now we have all three on here. Let's see if I can do disconnect as well. So I'm not actually going all the way through with disconnect. I think I should probably not just delete it from my database, which is what I'm doing currently. I think I should also be revoking that token. So I need to probably clean up all of these to do that correctly. The other thing that I haven't done here yet is handle refresh. So I'm probably gonna have to wait on that until a little bit longer so that I can actually see it in action. What happens when the token expires, to make sure that I know what sort of response codes I get back and things like that. As a refresher, the way that we handled that in, say, Twitch API, I will do YouTube. No, we'll do Twitch. Twitch API. We have this try with refresh functionality that tries to get the access credentials from the app OAuth credentials for that user. And then it tries to do the thing, whatever it is that we want to do with those credentials. And then in this case, for Twitch, we can look to see if there isn't a status, or if it has a status and it's equal to 401, or it's not equal to 401, then we know we can return OK. Otherwise, we have to call refresh token. And that's what we do. That's specified here. Let's go back. Here we go. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's see. Refresh. Access tokens response. So here we can do a post to where. Okay, so you can actually give it a, it's going to follow more or less the same sort of setup, except that you're using the refresh token instead of a code. And then the end result is that you get the same information back. So I might implement this real quick, even though we can't actually test it right now. So let's go to Discord API. It's going to be exactly like this, except we're going to say refresh. What did we call it here? Refresh token. And we'll do refresh token. And let's see where these are different now. So we have client ID, client secret, which is the same. Grant type now is going to be refresh token. So grant type, it's refresh token. Instead of code, we have refresh underscore token. Redirect URI is still the same, and then we pass it the same scope. So the same scope is going to be there, and then everything should be fine. So assuming this works as expected and everything is right, the value that we get back is going to be the same format that we had up here. So the code that handles that should be able to handle it just fine. We could probably, I think we'll probably leave it there for now. So we're almost out of time for today. So let's see what we managed to accomplish. So we did get user level Discord set up. We don't really need this information anymore. The app level stuff is actually going to be a lot simpler, and I don't think I'm going to talk about that at all. Mostly because I don't think I'm going to need anything at this level with the exception of the bot. So I'm not going to be publishing a lot of information. And it turns out that anything that we do with the bot uses a fixed code. It's still OAuth something. I think it's either client credentials or, let's see if we can double check just as long as we're here. So bot authorization flow. So it still uses an authorized URL, but you only have to specify the client ID, scope of bot, and then you give it a permissions flag. And that's all you need. As long as you do that, you don't need to do any of the other dances. There's no redirect or anything like that. So unless we need something more advanced, but I don't think we need that for our use. So I don't think we're really going to be doing a app level Discord in the same way that we had to for Twitch and YouTube so far. So I'm going to remove those. The model has actually played out pretty nicely. We've been able to use the same two models for all of the different types that we've connected so far, either per user or at the app level. The service layer, this Discord one went a little differently, and I think I'm kind of liking it. I think I'm probably going to do more of that because working with the APIs has been very non-transparent, especially with the Google thing. The thing that we ran into with Google for the YouTube stuff was trying to get that user information. Let's see if I can pull up the YouTube factory here, our YouTube API. Let's see. Yeah, so getting this user info value out, trying to figure out the right set of services to create or the right objects, and then calling the right values. So I had to call user info with these fields. Otherwise, I didn't get the right information. There was no examples of this. And even though YouTube has provided all of these tools, or Google has provided all of these tools, I'm only using like 0.1% of any of the classes. So not being able to see exactly what I'm doing is kind of a pain. Meanwhile, I looked up, let's see here, GitHub, YouTube, live chat bot. I was looking at, it was CY bot or something like that. Anyway, it was a very simple implement. Oh, here it is, CircBot. It's the second list. I should have looked at that. Their entire application for Get Live Chat ID is calling directly the URL and reading the values. There is no major library that they're using. They're just making straight up calls here. So I think I'm probably going to try and do that for the bot side of the YouTube integration that we'll be doing. So that should be a lot of fun, but I'm not going to be able to get to that again until the end of the year, or until the beginning of next year. So thank you all for joining tonight. If you have more questions, ping me on Twitter. I'm probably not going to be doing any more streams until 2019. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your year.